Hello, everybody. It's Adam with TPM Media. It is April, and that means Songkran is coming up. Everybody's favorite or least favorite, depending on your perspective, holiday right here in Pattaya and all of Thailand. Now, last year we did a video where we gave some tips, suggestions, and kind of gave an overview of the Songkran Festival and what it's going to look like, really specifically for Pattaya. This year, because it was so popular last year and they're doing some changes this year, I wanted to do the same thing. So first off, before I get going, I wanted to let people know that a lot of these tips are not going to be anything new whatsoever to our expat readers or anybody who's been here for decades and decades. Who knows, you might want to watch anyways, but I want to say that right off the bat, that this is primarily intended for our many viewers that are tourists or maybe coming for their first ever Songkran. However, there'll also be some basic information about the festival this year and some of the changes that are taking place that might be beneficial to our expat viewers. So without further ado, let's get into it. First off, what is Songkran? For those of you that are complete newbies, Songkran is the Thai New Year, also known as the Water Festival, and is the biggest Thai holiday of the year. Now, along with the regular New Year and the Christmas season, and also in recent years, the Fireworks Festival, this is the busiest time of year for Pattaya. Specifically, the so-called Big Day, known as Wan Lai or the Day of Flow, is April 19th. That doesn't change. People ask every single year, which is the big day? What's the day that everybody goes crazy? That will remain April 19th this year. So a little bit about Songkran itself. Now, it is not really about throwing people with a bucket of ice water over their heads. It's really about time with family. It has a lot of religious aspects, a lot of cultural aspects, a lot of traditional aspects that have been carried down for centuries. However, in recent years, and especially this year, the Thai government is focused on the so-called entertainment water splashing perspective of it, which they really haven't done since before 2014. In 2014, when the junta led by Prayut Chan-o-cha took over in Thailand, they started pushing Songkran only on its traditional and religious aspects, which, of course, many of our expat viewers probably prefer the very traditional Songkran, but they also recognize that this wasn't as good to bring in flocks and flocks of tourists, although, again, the expats probably liked it. Then, of course, COVID hit in 2020, and we did not have any sort of Songkran festival until last year. Last year was okay, but the Chinese still weren't in. There were still some restrictions and some problems and other issues. And so as a result, this year is expected to be the biggest Songkran since 2019. And according to the Thai Tourism Authority, the biggest Songkran ever. Now, they're actually calling it the World Songkran Festival. They're really promoting this all over, especially in Europe, but all over the world this year. And they've really focused, as I said, on the water throwing aspect, the partying, the festivals, the concerts. Although some people may argue again that that's not the traditional meaning of Songkran, it is what drives tourism. So in every province over the next month here in April, you're going to see different types of events. One thing that confused a lot of our readers was the Thai government saying that this would be a month-long festival. They've since cut that down from April 1st until April the 21st. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to get 21 days of water. That's the number one thing that a lot of our local readers were panicking and upset about, and many, quite frankly, were saying that they were going to leave town over. No. Think of it like Christmas. Think of it like the holidays. All it means is that there's going to be Songkran decorations, traditional festivals, parades, concerts, food festivals, and of course, on specific days, the water throwing. So, with all that said, and by the way, the specific days will change from province to province and area to area. The national holidays, the day everybody gets off, and the day many Thais, Bangkok clears out, everybody goes home for their biggest home trip of the year, will be from the 12th of April until the 16th of April. Those are the days that most people celebrate. Again, Pattaya's big day is the 19th. So that brings me to Pattaya. What will be the overall days? We're not talking about the big day. We're not talking about Wan Lai, but when will water be thrown around Pattaya? It's not changing. Based on what the mayor has said in recent meetings, it's going to be roughly around the 12th, when people's vacation and time begins, until the 19th. Yes, over a week. Now, that doesn't mean all of Pattaya is playing like crazy over a week. A lot of people overthink this. Quite frankly, In many parts of Pattaya, like the eastern parts of Pattaya and Jomtien and Naklua, you won't see anything except for the 18th and 19th. It's perfectly easy to get around. But if you want to experience getting hit in the face by a bucket of ice water, because hey, who wouldn't? You can go check out Soy 6, Soy 7, Soy 8, and in recent years, the Soy Buakau and Tree Town area, which will have more than enough water and more than enough action. Generally taking place in the afternoons from about 2 o'clock-ish in the afternoon. Technically, in prior years, they stopped at night. Last year, that didn't happen, and quite frankly, we don't expect that to happen this year either. So although in prior years they may have shut everything down around 6, it's probably going to keep going until about 8 or 9 at least. And the final days, by the way, the 18th, or the evening of the 18th, that's the day that Walking Street goes crazy and everybody participates. That's their big day. So if you go out to Walking Street on the night of the 18th, you're going to get hit with water. So keep that in mind. The 18th is especially the one night that is an exception. Naklua, by the way, celebrates on the 18th. So all of that area around Lompo Market, etc., will be crazy. Also of note is after Pattaya ends, after the big day on the 19th, on the 20th, Bang Sarai, further south for those of you not familiar, has their big day. One tip I gave recently to somebody who didn't want to leave the country but wanted to get away from kind of the craziness of Pattaya during Songkran and all the tourists was to visit Bang Sarai. It only celebrates after Pattaya ends. It's easy enough to stay until the morning of the 20th and then come on back and not see any water at all and only have to travel about 20 minutes down the road. So a couple more things that I wanted to touch base on about Songkran and a couple of basic tips. Number one, it will fool you that you're being hit by ice water all day, so you won't feel that you're getting a sunburn. Use water-resistant sun lotion. I am personally a victim of this. I had the worst sunburn I've ever had in my life because you don't feel it because you're getting hit by ice water most of the time. So make sure you wear proper protection or you dress appropriately. So number two, dressing appropriately. You probably don't want to wear all white with see-through clothing. Horrible idea. Trust me, I haven't personally done it, but I've seen it. So again, be careful about that. Number three, if you know that you have a short temper, and if you know that being hit in the face with ice water is going to make you lose your temper, you're going to get angry and want to fight people, stay home. Just stay home. I know many people that know they're temperamental, know being hit by water is going to cause a problem. They stay home. You should always be prepared to be wet. As I said, they really didn't stop at night last year. I don't expect that this year. So go out prepared. Wear proper clothing. Wear proper shoes. Don't go out with nice clothes, even at 8 o'clock at night, and expect not to get hit by water. You'll have a much more pleasant time if you expect it and then it doesn't happen and you're pleasantly surprised. Now, they sell everywhere in Pattaya these water-resistant packs that you can put your wallet and your phone in. Quite frankly, those are usually pretty cheap and don't do the job. I would look into some Ziploc bags and maybe put those into one of the water packets or a waterproof pouch, a quality one that you purchase and bring yourself. As the one sold on the streets every single year, and I've had it happen to me myself, people get water in their cases. The worst thing that can happen is have your cell phone in there and your cell phone damaged. Now, a lot of people say, and this is my last tip, that, oh, my cell phone is waterproof. It's waterproof meant for rain, and some phones, of course, are meant for underwater. What it's really not meant for, though, is being hit with ice water for 8 hours in a day, or also the powder that they put on your faces on top of that. It's not meant for that, especially water of different temperatures and just non-stop being hit. And a lot of people wear their pouch right here and their phone's right here in the pouch. So you have a cheap pouch, and then you have your phone getting hit by ice water all day. What happens to your phone? You guessed it, no more phone. Every year I see that. So if your phone is not truly able to deal with it, my suggestion, quite frankly, leave the phone at home. I hope everybody has a very safe, a very happy Songkran, and I will see you very, very soon. Take care of yourselves and each other.